Welcome along to the Rallye Yukon-Puebla summary video. I'm Janne Lahanen. I will be your host today as we take a look at the biggest, baddest virtual rally of the year, the Rallye Yukon-Puebla, spanning over 69 stages, over 500 kilometers of special stages going from Yukon, Canada through United States of America all the way to Puebla, Mexico. And the rally was driven between June 22nd and June 28th, and there were over 100 entrants. First leg of the rally was through 22nd and 23rd of June, and it took the competitors through Canada on that leg. So without further ado, let's hop on to the first stage and see how the rally went. The opening stage was the 8.3 kilometer long Kino City Elsa special stage, fast flowing gravel stage with rain making it extra challenging for the drivers. Here on the start line is Jonas Lönn from Fisu Rally Team with an Audi Sport Quattro in the class 4A. Jonas definitely one of the favorites to win this rally, given that he is a FNJ former champion and doing very mighty work in the Virtual Rally Championship R5 category this year as well. And given what we see here in the images, we can most surely assure that Lönn is going only for the win. A small hint of that is also the fact that he set the fastest time on this opening stage by over 11 seconds. Next up, we have Henri Kalvik from Estonia, also driving an Audi Sport Quattro in the class 4A. Kalvik opting for a slightly more cautious approach here on the opening stage, trailing Lönn by 45 seconds on this slippy rally opener. Kalvik may be hoping that it will be his breakthrough rally here, but he's starting slow and hoping to up the pace as the rally progresses and he gets more accustomed to his car. After Kalvik, we have a British driver going under the alias Halo. Halo is not maybe the most fastest drivers out there, let's be honest, but he is definitely one of the more entertaining ones. And just like Kalvik, Halo is also opting for a slow start, cautious approach and trying to work up his speed as the rally progresses. Halo is driving also an Audi, but not the Sport Quattro, but slightly older Audi A2 Quattro, still in class 4A. Halo being 1 minute 15 seconds off Lönn's pace here on the rally opener. Up next we move to class 2A, which is the most powerful cars that have only two-wheel drive in this rally. Here we have Riku Martikainen, a very fast Finnish driver, one of the favorites to win this class, despite sporting an older Opel Ascona, which is maybe a bit less competitive compared to its class rivals. Martikainen starting quite strong in here, 19th fastest, 40 seconds off Lönn's pace, 3rd fastest in class 2A, reporting hitting a tree and spinning here on the rally opener. Next on the start line we have another class 2A car. We have Finnish driver Janne Lahanen, and he's got a Group B Porsche 911 SC RS, easily one of the best sounding cars in the rally. Lahanen going off with quite a strong start here as well, going 2nd fastest in class, losing only to Slovak driver Denis Zetak by a few seconds. But the difference between these cars and the class 4A cars are quite huge, thus Lahanen being over half a minute off Lönn's pace here on the rally opener. Next up on the start line we have another fast Finn. We have Henrik Rampanen driving the only Opel Manta 400 in the rally. Hopefully we can see him all the way through the finish. Would be nice to see even one Manta to finish. Rampanen struggling a bit here on the rally opener, being only 71st fastest overall on this rally opener, reporting at the finish line that he slightly may have gone off just a bit, resulting in him being almost 2 minutes off the leader's pace here on the first stage. And another Class 2A car and driver, Nicky Blizzard from Britain, number 19 on this rally, sporting a Toyota Celica twin cam turbo, on paper the most powerful car on this class. Blizzard reporting at the stage finish a few small mishaps here on the stage, small collisions, but apparently nothing more than bodywork damage. Luckily, Blizzard being 31st overall on this rally opener, 51 seconds of Lönn's blitzing start here on Kino City Elsa. Then we go to Class 4B, which is the less powerful four-wheel drive class that we have here in the rally, and here we have a Finnish driver, Joona Karima, who has been quite successful in Finnish series and also been doing quite well in the WRC 2 category this season, although he lately switched to the WRC 1 category. Karima sporting the Lancia Delta HF four-wheel drive here and going 11th fastest overall, slightly under half a minute of Lönn's leading pace. Next up, number 47, Norwegian driver Edvin Haugerud, driving an Audi 200 Quattro, also in Class 4B. Quite interesting choice to have the Audi, but then again it makes a lot of sense in most encounters where a 3 meets the 200 Quattro, the 200 Quattro wins as it is bigger and heavier. Haugerud going 22nd fastest overall here on the rally opener, being 44 seconds of the leading time. Starting with number 56 is Tomas Burjanek from Czech Republic, driving a Mazda 323BF four-wheel drive. Burjanek starting quite well here in Kino City Elsa, driving 16th fastest time on the rally opener, slightly over half a minute of the leading pace. And the production crew is somewhat unaware of Burjanek's accomplishments, but we will be happy to see what the driver is capable of here in Rallye Yukon-Puebla. And another tank-like Audi 200 Quattro, this one with the number 60 on its side, and it is driven by British Jordan Pettit. And according to our producer, he is a very solid bloke. And Pettit opening his rally somewhat cautiously, being almost a minute off the pace of the leader, but this is a long rally, anything can happen. I'd say it's more clever to start off slow and then work your pace up instead of going balls out on the first stage and crashing, which some people did. Then we move to the most popular category in the rally, Class 2B, probably the very much liked category because of the more accessible and somewhat easier cars to drive as well, but they are not slow, no. Here we have Ossian Puhakka, Finnish driver, sort of making a comeback to virtual rallying after being gone for a while. Puhakka starting slow there because having some struggles getting into gear on the start line. Puhakka starting quite modestly, being over a minute and a half of Jonas' pace, but at least he is true despite having a few issues on the stage, according to himself. Up next, number 75, Patrick Åkerfeldt, also representing the FISU rally team, driving the Volkswagen Golf Mark II here, saying in the finish that he has inters on, so he will be taking these first few stages somewhat cautiously. Well, We can't see any cautiousness here, and neither did the stopwatch. Åkerfeldt recording 7th fastest time overall, being just 20 seconds off Lund's pace, despite having only a front-wheel car with less than half the power what Jonas' Audi Sport Quattro has. And then we have some Soviet classics on the line. Here we have American driver Jason Murphy representing Crest Autosport sim racing team, driving a Lada VFTS in this rally with the number 84 on its side. Jason starting quite cautiously here, stating that his strategy is to finish the rally and not worry about the pace, which is very clever thinking in such long and cruel rally as Rallye Yukon-Puebla. Then we have another Volkswagen driver. This time it is Aleksi Paakkinen with number 94, and also from Finland. Paakkinen starting somewhat cautiously, but still having a good pace, being 30th overall on this rally opener. Paakkinen sporting a neat color scheme, slightly inspired by the Volkswagen Works rally team from the 2010s, and very good driving from Paakkinen here as well. Here we have another FISU rally team driver, Roni Lötjönen, driving a Lada VFTS as well, and driving with the number 107 in this rally. Lötjönen also having showed really promising pace in Virtual Rally Championship in the Group A category and in the Finnish series as well. Lötjönen starting really strong here. Kino City Elsa being the second fastest Lada, being just slightly beaten by a fellow Lada driver by roughly around 1.5 seconds. That's basically nothing in such a long rally. And then we have another Volkswagen driver. This is Tom Smalley from Great Britain with the number 115, and Tom opening up his rally with a time of 5:47, putting him somewhere around position 40 here on the opening stage. Bit of luck as well for him here in the opening stage, as he comments at the end of the stage. There was a slight encounter with a tree on the stage. Wasn't there, but it was close already. But Smalley through and continues on with his rally. Then we move up to Class 2C, which is the slowest of the two-wheel drive categories. And here we have a Wartburg driven by Jonathan Richardson from Great Britain, sporting the number 124. Richardson starting the rally off also with a bit of a scare, claiming that he slid wide towards the latter parts of the stage, but nevertheless good time from Richardson, being fastest in Class 2C on the rally opener, and slightly under a minute of Jonas Lund's pace. Then we have a Trabant with the number 127, driven by Krister Barus, also from Finland. There's lots of Finnish drivers here on Rallye Yukon-Puebla, which we are delighted to see. And Barus starting off somewhat cautiously as well, just stating at the end that it is a long way to go, just trying to drive cleanly. And that is a solid strategy indeed. Not to risk it too much. There are still 68 stages after this one where to crash on, so why ruin all the fun on the first one already? Yet another British driver here. We have Andrew Fahey, also driving with a Trabant with the number 131, being the second largest number here in the rally, with 132 entrants overall. Maybe the first liaison section was a bit tricky because there were only 94 starters out of the 132 entrants onto the first stage. And here we see Andrew Fahey demonstrating a technique called environmental steering, where you use the environment to steer the car and not only the steering wheel. And Fahey sadly making his only appearance here on the summary because he crashed out on the next stage, special stage 2. And after the first stage, our camera crew traveled to special stage number 6, Marsh Lake Community Center, which was 4.8 kilometers long. And here we have Jonas Lönn in category 4A. And just like on the previous stage that we covered, Lönn wins on here as well, being half a second quicker than the next car. If Lönn had a say, he'd probably want us filming at every stage possible. And yeah, it's just a pleasure to watch the man drive. Brilliant driving. Next we have the Estonian Henrik Kalvik, also driving Audi Sport Quattro. And it seems like Kalvik is slowly getting to grips with his machinery here, given that he was only 10 seconds off Lönn's pace here on the Marsh Lake Community Center stage. Good improvement over the first stage where we were at. Hope to see him improve even further as the rally progresses. And here we have the British driver going under the alias Halo, and he's reporting some technical difficulties and thus losing almost 2 minutes to Lönn here on this stage. Not the kind of start he would have hoped for his rally, but luckily he got it working back again and managed to go on regardless. With Slovak driver Denis Zetak out of the picture due to his stage number 4 crash, Riku Martikainen now steps up and is leading the class 2A, setting the fastest time of his class here at Marsh Lake Community Center. In the overall standings, Martikainen is 12th, being 2 minutes behind the overall leader, Oscar Esteves of Portugal. And then it's Lahanen with his Porsche, also in class 2A, getting the second fastest time in class here at Marsh Lake Community Center, just a bit under 2 seconds off Martikainen's pace. And in the overall standings in class 2A, Lahanen is trailing Martikainen by 14.5 seconds. Ramponen with his yellow Opel Manta goes third fastest in class here at Marsh Lake, being 5 seconds off from Martikainen's pace, and he's 2 minutes adrift from Martikainen in the overall class standings. In the overall standings, Ramponen is sitting in the position 33. British Blizzard with his Celica here having a bit of a struggle, saying that he had to use an escape route and then getting stuck in a ditch on this stage. So not the best of stages for Blizzard, but he's still sitting in 6th in class, 3.5 minutes off the class leader Martikainen. And then we move to class 4B. Here is Joona Karima with his Lancia Delta. Karima recording the second fastest time here at Marsh Lake Community Center, only 6/10 of the fastest time in class here. Karima sitting in class 3rd after 6 driven stages and 9th overall. And then it is the Czech driver Burjanek, and he managed to go 3rd fastest in class on this stage, and he is sitting 4th in class after 6 stages have been driven. Solid driving from Burjanek so far. Positive surprise for our production crew. The Norwegian driver Edwin Haugerud here on Marsh Lake Community Center with his big massive Audi 200, recording a time roughly around 20 seconds slower than the fastest time through here, and didn't give out an interview but didn't seem too unhappy despite slightly unorthodox driving lines here on the video. Not the best of runs for British driver Pettet here at Marsh Lake Community Center. Comments at the end of the stage that hit a very solid bridge, but the temps seem to be alright in the car. Hopefully he can manage to carry on, because that Audi is a joy to look at. Very, very nice looking color scheme on this Audi. And then we have another beautiful livery. This is Viljo Elo, also driving in the 4B class with the Lancia Delta, and making a solid start in the rally, starting off slowly and saying that he has gained a bit of confidence here on this stage, saying that it was the first stage where he didn't feel like driving like a grandma. Good for Viljo. And then we move to class 2B with Patrick Åkerfeldt here in the picture. Patrick managed the second fastest time in class in here and is first in class after 6 stages have been driven, sitting 5th overall as well, being the fastest two-wheel drive car in the rally so far. Very impressive. And then we have another FISU rally team driver. This is Ronnie Lötjönen with his Lada VFTS, commenting at the end that it was just a run of getting safely through. No major mishaps here on special stage number 6. Lötjönen sits in 4th in class after 6 stages have been run here in Rallye Yukon-Puebla. Yet another Finn here, Aleksi Paakinen with the Volkswagen Golf GTI Mark II. Not giving a comment after the stage, but the clock tells us that Paakinen did it in 3 minutes 3 seconds .4, which is 30th fastest overall on stage number 6. Solid driving from Paakinen so far in the rally. American driver Jason Murphy sticking to his plan, keeping it neat and tidy here on special stage number 6. No major hassle, just getting the ladder through safe and sound. I have to respect a man who sets out a goal and then sticks to it throughout the rally, despite it is very tempting to go fast on these beautiful roads. Tom Smalley, the British driver with the VW Golf, here on special stage number 6. Solid run through here, no major mishaps judging from the timesheets, that is. Roughly around 3 minutes off from class leader Åkerfeldt after stage number 6. Yet another British driver. Here we have Jonathan Richardson in class 2C with his Wartburg, setting the pace in class 2C on this stage with a time of 3:07.7, leading 2C class after 6 stages, and in the overall standings sitting in position 24, slightly over 3 minutes behind the leader. Here we have a Finnish driver, Krister Parus, in class 2C with his Trabant, holding the Trabant flag up high with a time of 3:36 on this special stage number 6. Almost half a minute off from Richardson's pace, but we do have to remember that the Wartburg has a lot more power than the small, cute little Trabant. After special stage number 6, our camera crew headed to special stage number 10, DROGHEDA Lake, 4.4 kilometers long. This is a very challenging stage, very fast flowing stage with lots of jumps and crests, so drivers really need to trust their notes in order to achieve a fast time here on this stage. But without further ado, let's hop on alongside this stage and see how our brave gladiators fared on this special stage. Jonas Lund from Class 4A setting the time of 2:01.6 here on special stage number 10, losing 9 seconds to class leader Oscar Esteves of Portugal here. Overall standings, Jonas is 1.5 minutes off from Esteves thanks to a few spins on the earlier stages. Henrik Halvik of Estonia in the pictures here, setting a time of 2:02 here in DROGHEDA Lake, being 9th fastest overall. But in the overall standings, after 10 stages have been driven, Halvik has dropped almost 6 minutes behind, leading Oscar Esteves in a similar car. Halo getting back to grips with his car. Technical difficulties are a thing in the past now, setting a time of 2:11.9 here at DROGHEDA Lake. But the difficulties from earlier have set him back a bit. He is in somewhere in the 50s on the position charts, 15 minutes almost behind the leader. And here's 2A class leader Janne Lahanen, who has just clinched the class lead in the earlier stage. And here Lahanen sets the fastest two-wheel drive time, and judging from these images we can see why. He's absolutely on the limit. Pants are very brown after this stage. Ascona driver Martikainen can't quite match Lahanen here, despite of those very massive jumps that he displays here. 2.5 seconds off from Lahanen, 4 seconds is the gap between the two after 10 stages have been driven here in Rallye Yukon-Puebla. Rampanen records a time of 2:11.9 with his yellow Manta here in DROGHEDA Lake, and being 4th in class after 10 driven stages, trailing 3rd place Wojciech Urlir roughly by a minute. But the rally is still very long. Karima setting a time of 2:06.6 with his Lancia Delta, sitting 3rd in class after 10 stages have been driven here in Rallye Yukon-Puebla, with almost a 2-minute gap to the class leader Juan Marzua, who's driving an Audi 200 Quattro. And here we have the Czech driver Burjanek showcasing how to jump a Mazda on DROGHEDA Lake, setting a time of 2:02.3 and catching the car ahead, also on Mazda, and closing the gap down to 15 seconds here on this stage. And behind Burjanek we have Edwin Haugerud in the heavy Audi, setting a time of 2:06 here, and he has roughly around a minute and a 15-second gap to Burjanek. Burjanek is 5th on class and Haugerud is 6th. British driver Pettet with his beautiful camel Audi, setting a time of 2:26, claiming that there were some misshifts and a few shunts as well. And sadly this is the last we will see of this Audi here on this rally, because Jordan crashed out on special stage number 12. Patrick Åkerfeldt, business as usual here, 2:03, and still leading the class 2B after this one, and is 6th overall with a 2-minute gap to the overall leader Oscar Esteves. Ronnie Lehtinen records a time of 2:12.4 and drops down to 4th in class 2B. Jason Murphy from America goes through with a time of 2:22.4 and sticking to his plan of just finishing the rally, doing his own pace. Alex Parkinen keeps up the good work, sets a time of 2:13.6, and he is 6th in Class 2B after 10 stages have been completed. Tom Smalley can't keep up with Alex Parkinen and sets a time of 2:21.9. Smalley is 31st in the overall standings after 10 stages have been driven. Krister Parus from Finland sets a time of 2:41.1, and he is currently 4th in Class 2C with his Trabant P800. The next stage our camera crew went to was special stage 13, Prophet River, which is also visible here in the preview image. 22.1 kilometer long stage. But before we head to the action, let's take a look at how the standings are looking for the top 10 in the overall rally before special stage 13. So Oscar Esteves leads with over a minute gap before Jonas and Alex, and then Juan Marzoa is leading the Class 4B, Alexander Drive 4A driver, and then Patrick Åkerfeldt up in 6th with a Class 2B car. Benitez in a Lancia Delta 4B, Sami in Peugeot 205 in the 4A, then it's Jyrki in another 2B class Volkswagen, and then to round it off in the top 10 is Joona Karimaa with a Lancia Delta. Other class leaders are Riku Martikainen in Class 2B and Jonathan Richardson in Class 2C. Now let's hop on to stage number 13. And here is our rally leader Oscar Esteves in his Audi Sport Quattro, doing a time of 14 minutes and 58 seconds here, stating at the finish that he just wanted to finish safely here and did not try to attack at all on this very long and tricky stage. A huge disaster on the stage for Jonas Lönn. He drops to 6th overall after recording a time of 15:44 here, stating that he had 2 calls for help and rear differential issues. Very big blow for Lönn's winning aspirations. Sami Peltola with the Peugeot 206 T16 said that he had a few issues with the spectators being in dangerous places and almost hitting them. Also claiming that he could have pushed a bit more with better notes. His time 14:40. Riku Martikainen with the Ascona 400 was another driver with an absolute disaster run here on Prophet River, saying that he got stuck 4 times and needed to call for help from the audience, and recording a time of over 18 minutes. Martikainen's misfortune was Lahanen's fortune, who now moves up to the lead in Class 2A. Lahanen records a time of 14:56 here at Prophet River. Wojtek Uhlir from Czech Republic, driving also Opel Ascona, recorded the second fastest time in Class 2A with a time of 16 minutes, reporting that he only had to reverse once during the hairpins and he was happy with his performance here. Solid run. Karimaa clocked in at 14:55 here, and given that Jyrki Niemelä ahead of him had a bit of a hard time here on this stage, the gap between the two is now only 6 seconds. Interesting battle ahead between the two. Viljo Elo in another Lancia Delta didn't manage quite such a good time as Karima here recording a time over 18 minutes, reporting few offs and lots of broken parts in the car, but he said that he is happy to make it through regardless. Patrick Åkerfeldt, more like Attack Rick Åkerfeldt, as he records the fastest overall time on this stage with a time of 14:27.9 in a two-wheel drive Volkswagen Golf. Think about that. Patrick's teammate, Finnish driver who goes under the alias Kädetön Tokka, didn't have such a good time here at Sjödin with a time of 17 minutes. But he's also through, and that's what matters the most on these very tricky stages of Rallye Yukon-Puebla. Another FISU Rally team driver, Roni Lötjönen, in his Lada VFTS records a time of 15:47 and moves up to 19th overall after special stage 13, reporting one spin and then taking it carefully afterwards. Jason Murphy stays true to his survival plan, records a time of 17:04 and moves up a place in the overall standings. He is now in P39 overall. Aleksi Parkkinen records a time of 16:35, claiming that he got stuck and had to call for help. He moves up to 5th in Class 2B ahead of Gabriel Simpson. Last filming location for our camera crew on leg 1 was Rogers Place, special stage 19. 1 kilometer long super special stage at the heart of Edmonton, where some of the crews struggled quite immensely thanks to not having a handbrake, and others thrived here on this stage. Let's take a look how the action unfolded here on Rogers Place. One of the first to tackle the Rogers Place maze was Krister Parus from Finland, Class 2C, prebuilt B800 RS. Parus showing few very neat handbrake turns here. Incredibly flamboyant driving here, as Parus reaches a time of 1:22.6. That is second fastest in Class 2C, 33rd fastest in the overall standings, and at the end of leg 1, Parus is sitting in 4th in Class 2C. Solid leg 1 for Krister Parus. Next up, number 115, Tom Smalley from Britain, recording the time of 1:17.1. That is 11th fastest in Class 2B and 28th fastest time on the stage overall. Smalley finishing the day being 10th in class and 29th in overall standings after leg 1. And here we can see Smalley taking a slightly different, more calm approach to Parus here on Rogers Place. American Jason Murphy, number 84, going very neat and tidy here, no unnecessary slides, no flamboyance for the audience, just through as efficiently as possible, and that gives Murphy the time of 1:13.2. 7th fastest in class and 19th fastest overall on the stage. And at the end of leg 1, Murphy sits in position 13 in Class 2B. Here we have Roni Lötjönen from FISU Rally team, the Finnish driver, recording a time of 1:14.2. And here we can see he's taking mostly the same calm approach as Murphy in the other ladder, but here on this one hairpin he slightly over rotates the car and maybe loses a bit of time there, but nothing too major. Lötjönen at the end of leg 1 is 4th in class and 15th overall. Next up, Aleksi Parkkinen, number 94, with another VW Golf, recording the time of 1:20.4 despite looking very racy here indeed. 12th fastest in class and 32nd overall. And the reason why his time was so slow compared to his level of attack on the drive is because he had gravel tires on for this final loop. And Pakinen ends the day being 6th in class and 23rd in the overall standings. Patrick Ockerfeldt with the VW Golf sets a time of 1:07 sharp, and he is also having gravel tires on, explaining why he is also sliding quite a bit. Fastest time in class and 6th fastest in the overall standings on the stage, and Ockerfeldt finishes leg 1 being fastest in class and 4th in the overall standings, but his time wasn't the fastest two-wheel drive time here. That honor went to Janne Lahanen with the Porsche here with a time of 1:04.3, second fastest time overall and fastest in class 2A. But Lahanen is sporting the tarmac tires here, giving him a bit of an advantage over Ockerfeldt. But Lahanen's rally came to an end on the very next stage, special stage 20, as he collided with a tree and the Porsche took too much damage to continue rallying. Lahanen's misfortunes aiding this man right here, Riku Martikainen, who was second fastest in class in here with a time of 1:11.1 and 17th fastest overall. Martikainen also sporting the gravel tires here. Must have been quite slippy. And Martikainen ends the day being first in class thanks to Lahanen's retirement and 16th fastest in the overall standings after the first leg is done. Just like his fellow Opelist, Henri Rampanen here also opted for the gravel tire for this last loop of stages, maybe losing a bit on here but gaining most likely on the last stage that was on gravel. Rampanen with a time of 1:18.4, 4th fastest in class 2A and 29th fastest in the overall standings on this stage, and Rampanen finishes leg 1 being 3rd in class and 26th overall. And now we move to the four-wheel drive cars with Edwin Haugerud here trying to squeeze their long, massive Audi through these narrow chicanes of Rogers Place. Haugerud recording a time of 1:19.2, being 8th fastest in class and 31st overall on the stage. And Haugerud finishes leg 1 being 7th in class and 19th overall. After Haugerud it was Joona Karima, and unlike Haugerud, Karima opted for gravel tires for the stage, which we can see being the quite less grippy choice here with lots of understeer for Karima here. But regardless of the tire choice, Karima was faster than Haugerud, setting a time of 1:15.4, being 6th fastest in class in here and 25th fastest overall on the stage. And Karima finishes leg 1 being 4th in class and 11th overall. Solid first day for Karima as well. Karima's rival, Czech driver Burjanek, also opting for the gravel tires, and you can see the understeer is quite immense. Burjanek recording a time of 1:12.5, being 5th in class and 18th overall on this stage. And Burjanek and Karima are locked in a battle after leg 1. Burjanek being ahead of Karima by 9 seconds, being 3rd in class and 10th overall. And last but not least, we have Jonas Löhn here on Rogers Place, setting a time of 1:14 sharp, being 5th fastest in class and 22nd overall on the stage. And Löhn struggling to fit the car through these narrow chicanes and hairpins on the stage, as we can see here. But Löhn finishes off the day being 3rd in class and 6th overall, despite having to reverse there. Quite an okay opening day start for Löhn, but plenty of room for improvement still. That was the first day of Rallye Yukon-Puebla. Very tough start to the rally. 50 retirements on leg 1. So if that keeps up that rate, we won't have any finishers in the rally whatsoever. And with the first leg now done, let's take a look at the provisional standings after leg 1. And here we have the provisional standings after leg 1 is complete. Esteves leads from Rosoa, Drive, Åkerfeldt and Löhn. And Löhn moved up to 5th in the standings after a faulty time penalty was taken away from him, moving him ahead of Benitez. Class leaders being Esteves, Marzoa, Åkerfeldt, Martikainen and Richardson. And now it's time for the second leg of the rally, going through United States of America, having 26 special stages, and our camera crew started filming from the first stage of the day, special stage 22, so let's hop on there next. Leg 2 opener, special stage 22, Divide Mountain, 8.6 kilometers long, a very fast stage through the forests, trees lining up the road, so every mistake can be costly here. Let's see who has waken up the best and who will start the fastest on leg 2. And as the crews were switched to the rally order, Patrick Åkerfeldt was the first one that we managed to catch on special stage 22. Åkerfeldt shocking all the competitors and the audience by setting the overall fastest time on this day opener with a time of 4:08 sharp. Next up was Lönn with beautiful slides, as we can see here. But in the finish he complained that the car was feeling quite understeery and that he rolled once. Lönn's time on this day opener 4:31.1. Then it is the Czech driver Burjanek with beautiful slides of his own, recording a time of 4:18.8 and stating at the finish that he's not looking forward to the day as much because he knows the stages ahead and they won't be as pleasant as he'd hope. Not a fan of the upcoming stages, it seems. Behind Burjanek it is Joona Karimaa driving the Lancia Delta, setting a time of 4:18.2, going 6/10 faster than Burjanek, and the fight is very much on. Karimaa stating that he focused on getting a clean start, nothing more, nothing less. After Karimaa, it is another Fisu Rally Team driver, it's Roni Löttynen in his Lada VFTS, setting a time of 4:30.5, stating that he had a safe start. Löttynen climbing up a place on the overall standings as well, he's now 14th overall. And then we have the Class 2A leader Riku Martikainen with his Opel Ascona, setting a time of 5 minutes and 1/10, claiming unfamiliarity with the stage and that he got stuck once and had to ask for the spectators to help him get out. Not the best start for Martikainen for leg 2. Then it is another Class 4A driver, Estonian Henri Kalvik, having very wide lines there on the stage. And a beautiful jump here as well. But for some reason Kalvik's car just completely shuts down at our filming location number 3. Can't tell what's wrong with the car, just doesn't go, stating it is over. And then we have the Norwegian driver Edvin Haugerud with his Audi 200 Quattro, setting a time of 4:30.3. Very good time considering that he reported at the end of the stage that he almost had 3 big accidents on the stage. Solid start from Haugerud regardless. And up next is the Class 2C leader Jonathan Richardson with his Wartburg, and with his nationality very easy to spot from the car's roof. Richardson opens the leg 2 with 4:33.6. A solid start for Jonathan as well. Number 94, Aleksi Paakkinen, has a very scary start to his day, reporting a massive hit to the trees, but somehow the Volkswagen Golf keeps on going. Paakkinen's time 5:14.1. Henri Rampanen with his Opel Manta, setting a time of 4:37.2, being third fastest in class on this leg opener, stating that he is taking it easy early on and then starting to push if he feels like it. A disaster start for Tom Smalley of Britain, recording a time of 6:11.4, slowest of the bunch, claiming 2 massive accidents on the stage, but he is through and hopefully he'll get his car fixed and he will soldier on here on Rallye Yukon-Puebla. Jason Murphy now driving on his home turf. Let's see if that brings him any advantages over on leg 2. Murphy starting solidly with a time of 4:39.6, still on target to finish the rally. Christer Parus in his Trabant also begins leg 2 with a solid run, recording a time of 5:16.4 and reporting at the stage end that there's nothing to repair, so I dare to claim a clean run. And clean does it look indeed. Christer with a solid opener to his leg 2 ambitions. The next stage our camera crew headed to was number 27, Grand Loop Road, 4.7 kilometers long, and this stage was on tarmac, so slightly different driving style was needed from all the drivers. Patrick Åkerfeldt continuing from where he left off, completely dominating Class 2B, setting a time of 3:08.6 here, being 7th fastest overall and being the fastest in Class 2B here on Grand Loop Road. Next up is Jonas Löhn in the Audi Sport Quattro, recording the 3rd fastest time here despite not labeling himself for much of a tarmac driving lover. And time of 3:03.4, 3rd fastest, only losing to Peltola and Esteves. I'm brushing very close to the barriers here. Mazda driver from Czech Republic, Tomáš Burianek, recording a time of 3:14.1 here, being 4th fastest in class and 10th overall. And in the overall standings of the rally, he has slipped behind Joona Karimaa on class 4B standings as well. The gap between the pair is almost 10 seconds now. Then it is Burianek's rival Joona Karimaa with the Lancia Delta HF with the beautiful brake cooling systems on the front rims. Karimaa sets a time of 3:11 sharp, being 3rd fastest in class and 9th fastest overall on this very stage. Roni Lötjönen with his Lada BFTS records a time of 3:18.1 here on special stage 27, being 4th fastest in class on the stage and 16th fastest overall on the stage. And in the overall standings of the rally, he is 15th overall, just ahead of Riku Martikainen. 5 seconds the gap between the pair. Speak of the devil, here is Mr. Martikainen himself with his beautiful red Ascona, setting a time of 3:21.6, being fastest in class and 20th overall despite reporting 1 spin on this stage. Like I said before, Martikainen very close to Lötjönen, 5 seconds separating the two. Then it is Edvin Haugerud from Norway, using the Audi 200 in a way that awards him the time of 3:14.7, being 5th fastest in class 4B and 11th fastest overall on stage 27. And there's something on these guardrails that keep attracting those Audis. Damn, that is close. 2C class leader Jonathan Richardson sets the time of 3:27 sharp, with the fastest time in class and 26th overall on the stage. And his class lead in class 2C is already over 10 minutes over 2nd place Riku Alanko. Here we have Britton Tom Smalley. On the stage he recorded a time of 3:35.6, and the reason for such a poor time we can see right here. Just 2 ambitious cuts and a roll it is. The first one that we managed to see on our cameras, and then after that roll there was a proper Austin Powers moment as well for Smalley. Time 3:35.6, like I said before, not the best time, understandably. Next, our camera crew headed to special stage 31, Fossil Hill, 8.3 kilometer long tarmac stage, but the thing that makes this one really tricky is that the crews have been driving a few gravel stages before this, and they are here on a tarmac stage with worn gravel tires. It was going to be very tricky for all involved. Here we have rally leader Oscar Esteves with his Audi Sport Quattro completely blitzing through the stage, setting a time of 4:44.5. Fastest time here on the stage, and by quite a margin as well, 14.5 seconds quicker than the next car. Esteves said at the finish line that he was really trying on the stage, as it was quite a familiar stage for him and fun stage for him, so he went full attack here, and we can definitely see it from the leaderboards as well. Brilliant run from Esteves. Second fastest here on the Fossil Hill stage was Thomas Burjanek from Czech Republic, driving the Mazda 323. Burjanek recording a time of 4:58.9 and a very fine drive, being the second fastest of all drivers, considering that this Mazda is definitely not the fastest car in the rally. Solid drive from Burjanek, who moves up a place because Karima had a few issues here. Quite a solid result for Jonas Lönn as well on this stage, recording a time of 5:01 sharp on this very stage, going into the top 5 standings in this stage. And all in all, a good time for Lönn, considering that he reports of a broken rear diff, meaning that the car should have a bit more understeer. And we may only guess if that has anything to do with the broken rear diff or not. Lönn through with a time of 5:01 sharp. Then it is the Volkswagen Golf driver Patrick Åkerfeldt with a time of 5:14.9, complaining of having very little grip on this stage. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Patrick is the fastest in his class here in Fossil Hill, continuing 4th overall in the rally after 31 driven stages. Here is Alexi Parkin with another VW Golf, setting the time of 5:17.2 here in Fossil Hill, being second fastest in class and 10th fastest overall on this stage. The wider scheme of things, Parkinen is sitting 20th overall and 5th in class 2B. Parkinen saying at the finish line that this stage was easier than he had dreaded. One of the few to say so. Fastest rear-wheel drive car through Fossil Hill was Ronnie Lötjönen, who is in the pictures here with his Lada VFTS. Lötjönen setting the time of 5:18.3, being the 3rd fastest in class 2B and 11th fastest overall. And after 31 driven stages, Lötjönen is sitting 3rd in class and 13th overall in the rally. Solid performance from the Finn so far here in Rallye Yukon-Puebla. The second fastest rear-wheel drive on this stage was Wojtek Uhlir from Czech Republic with a time of 5:20.4, going fastest in the class 2A and 13th fastest overall on this stage. And in the grand scheme of things, Wojtek is sitting 2nd in class 2A, 3 minutes off the leader Riku Martikainen, and he's sitting 17th in the overall standings of the rally. Here we have Sami Peltola from Fisu Rally Team, driving the Peugeot 205 T16 with the number 1 on the side of the car. Peltola having quite a disaster run here with the time of 5:51.8, being 28th fastest overall on this stage, claiming that there was one spin and then he got stuck once and had to call for help. Almost losing to Onni Keronen, driving a Fiat 126 on the stage. The two men separated only by mere 3 seconds on this stage. Number 43, Viljo Elo, here with his Lancia Delta on Fossil Hill, having even worse time than Sami Peltola with a time of 6:19.8, but he considers himself lucky here. This is not something that we messed up in post-production editing. The car is not running anymore. He's just freewheeling it through, and Elo reporting at the finish that the engine died a few kilometers to go on the stage, but he managed to freewheel it as the stage was downhill, feeling very lucky. And his mechanics managing to fix the car after the stage 2, so he managed to continue in the rally. Unlike Elo, Parus wasn't so lucky here on this stage. Here on our camera crew, still spotting him going very strong, but then disaster strikes. Here we have some amateur footage, seeing that Parus goes just a bit wide and hits a traffic sign, and sadly that traffic sign was stronger than Parus's Trabant. He still tries to get the car rolling by a bump start, but doesn't manage it as the downhill isn't steep enough. So sadly that is the end of Christer Parus's rally on special stage 31. Rallying is a cruel sport. After Fossil Hill, our camera crew headed to Pueblo Motorsports Park, where special stage 39 was held, a 5.5 kilometer spectator stage and also another tarmac stage. So now if everyone are wondering if this is just a tarmac rally, no, it is not. Very narrow hairpins here, so our camera crew focused on one specific hairpin to highlight the differences between the four-wheel drive cars and the two-wheel drive cars. Enjoy! Here we have Patrick Åkerfeldt setting up a time of 4:07.1 here on the stage, going fourth fastest overall and fastest in his class, and we can see how nimble the car is around the hairpin. Here we have Ronnie Lötjönen with a time of 4:09.8, being fifth fastest overall on the stage and second fastest two-wheel drive, and we can see again having a handbrake helps a lot here in the hairpin. Here we have Jonathan Richardson with a time of 4:21.5, being fastest in class as expected, but he's ninth fastest overall here, showing that having a nimble car with a handbrake here is the fastest way to go. And here we have a prime example why the four-wheel drive struggled here on this stage. No handbrake means that the cars have to use the car's momentum to throw it in, and with not much speed going on at the hairpin section, it is very hard, most of them having to reverse on the hairpins. 4:24.6 for Burjanek, second fastest in class, then overall. Then we have another British bloke here with a two-wheel drive car, Tom Smalley, but apparently he didn't have a handbrake for use on this one, which we can see from the rather cautious approach. Fifth fastest in class with a 4:26.8. The Ascona driver Riku Martikainen with a time of 4:32.3 here, going fastest in class 2A, despite having a few fitting issues here on the hairpins as well. His lead in class 2A is already minute and a half. And here we have a Lancia driver, Joona Karimaa, and his time is 3:35.6, and here we have another highlighting of the difficulties that four-wheel drive car drivers face on this very stage. And here we have Henri Rampanen with the Opel Manta 400, a very long car for such a narrow, small stage, recording a time of 5:08.9, stating that he hit a chicane and damaged the water pump, having to slow down not to damage the car any further. Lucky to made it through though. Here we have American Jason Murphy with his ladder, showing that it's not a guaranteed good time. Even if you have a two-wheel drive car, the hairpins can still be very, very tricky, as shown here. After Pueblo Motorsports Park, our camera crew headed to the penultimate stage of the day, Carbon Canyon 4.4 kilometer stretch, with trees lining up the road here as well, so no room for mistakes really on this stage. Let's see how the crews fared here on special stage number 46. And here we have Jonas Löhn, nicknamed Full Send Jonas by our camera crew, setting the time of 3:28.05 on this stage, being fourth fastest overall and sitting sixth overall in the rally after leg 2. Next up is Tomas Burjanek from Czech Republic, setting the time of 3:31.3 here, being the sixth fastest overall in this stage. And after 2 legs of the rally, Burjanek sits at 7th overall in the rally. Patrick Åkerfeldt continuing his strong run with a 3:31.5, finishing 7th overall and fastest two-wheel drive here. In the overall standings, Patrick is 5th overall after 2 legs are done. Riku Martikainen with the Ascona fighting a good pace as well, 3:35.3 here, 9th fastest overall. Riku sitting in 13th overall after 2 legs have been completed, leading Class 2A by 5 minutes. Edvin Haugerud setting a time of 3:36.6, 4th fastest in Class 4B here, and he's 5th in Class 4B after 2 legs have been completed, 14th overall. Johanna Karima with a time of 3:36.7 on here, and here on the junction using beautifully the rock to turn the car a bit more, almost seems intentional. Karima sitting 3rd in class after 2 legs have been completed. Henri Ramponen with a time of 3:39.7, 2nd fastest in class here, and he's sitting 3rd in class after 2 legs are done, over 5 minutes behind the leader Riku Martikainen. Viljo Elo with a time of 3:40 sharp here on Carbon Canyon, and Viljo is sitting 6th in class after leg 2 and is 22nd overall in the rally after 47 stages have been done. Roni Löttynen with a 3:41.9, and that is 2nd fastest time in class here in Carbon Canyon. In the overall standings after 2 legs, Roni is 12th and 3rd in class. Here we have Aleksi Paakinen with the Volkswagen Golf with a time of 3:45.7 here on special stage number 46. After 2 legs, Paakinen is sitting 6th in class. 3:47.9 for Richardson, fastest in class, and keeps up his lead in the class in the overall standings after leg 2. At the end of leg 2, Richardson complained that he was running the tarmac setup for the latter gravel stages. A fellow Brit, Tom Smalley, recording a time of 3:49.7, stating no risks on this stage. Smalley is 23rd overall after 2 legs and 8th in class. To round off our leg 2 footage is Jason Murphy with his ladder without the front bumper, so we think he had quite a rough run here. His time 4:34.3. Jason is sitting 10th in class and 25th overall after 2 legs have been completed in Rallye Yukon-Puebla. That is leg 2 done. The crews are now heading for another very well deserved overnight sleep. And the 29 that are remaining will continue on to Mexico up next. But before we head to Mexico, let's take a look at the standings at the end of leg 2, and these are provisional standings, yet pending penalties of any sorts. So it is Esteves leading from Matsoa, Drive, Peltola, Åkerfeldt, Lönn, Burjanek, Karima, Morgan and Solk. That is our top 10. Esteves leading overall rally and class 4A, Martoa leading class 4B, Åkerfeldt leading class 2B, and then not in the top 10 are also class leaders Martikainen, leader of class 2A, and Jonathan Richardson, class 2C leader. With those very thrilling standings, we are heading towards Mexico and towards Puebla. Drivers have a lot of stages to go still, and most of them on gravel, with a rare tarmac stage here and there on leg 3 as well. We sent our camera crew to 5 stages on the final day as well. Let's see how the crews fared on leg 3 in Mexico. First stage for our camera crew on leg 3 was special stage 52, a 7.1 kilometer spectator stage on TAD Chihuahua Pemex Logistica, roaming through the premises of TAD Chihuahua Pemex Logistica. It was quite a weird stage, but let's crack on and see how the crews fared there. Jonas Lönn showing the stage's unorthodox features first, setting up a time of 5:47.5, second fastest on the stage, only beaten by Oscar Esteves. And after the stage, Lönn moves up to 5th in the overall standings, moving himself ahead of Patrick Åkerfeldt, who drives the Volkswagen Golf. Yes, this is the only stage with the oval section in the rally. Third fastest time was by Thomas Burjanek, a time of 5:48.4, which was third fastest overall and fastest Class 4B time. And Burjanek in 7th overall and second in Class 4B after 52 stages. Burjanek commenting that he's happy with his first loop of the leg 3. Karima with a time of 6 minutes and 3/10 of a second, third fastest in Class 4B and 6th fastest overall. Karima now 1 minute 52 seconds behind Burjanek, so I guess he will stop attacking now and just start focusing on bringing the car home. Karima really at home on this stage because he's also part of the FISU Oval team alongside the FISU Rally team. Riku Martikainen was responsible for the fastest two-wheel drive here on Special Stage 52 with a time of 6:04.3, going fastest in Class 2A and 8th fastest overall on this stage. And Martikainen is quite in a safe place in the rally right now. His closest rival in class is almost 7 minutes behind him, so mostly about getting through for Martikainen from here on. Edwin Haugerud with the massive Audi that I was surprised didn't destroy these bumps, with a time of 6:05.1. Edwin commenting at the finish line that it was probably his best performance here on this stage with this massive car, and seemed to be happy with his run. Patrick Åkerfeldt with a time of 6:06.3 here at Special Stage 52, fastest in Class 2B. Doesn't comment anything at the finish line, at least we don't see massive dents in the car, so we can assume that the run went alright. Ronnie Lötjönen with the ladder setting a time of 6:11.2, third fastest in Class 2B here, and also third in class after 52 stages have been driven. Aleksi Paakkinen, Volkswagen Golf, time of 6:16.8, that is 5th fastest in Class 2B. Also thanks to his time here, Aleksi moves up to 5th in class in the overall standings, rising ahead of Gabriel Simpson from Estonia. Tom Smalley, another Volkswagen Golf driver, clocks in a time of 6:19.4, and at the stage end he reports that he hit some tires along the way, but nothing more serious than that, luckily for Tom here at Special Stage 52. .4 for Jonathan Richardson in the Wildbook, and Richardson reporting clipping, a chicane and spinning on the first lap on the stage. Regardless of his misfortunes, he managed to clock in the fastest time in Class 2C and continues leading the class. Henry Ramponen in the Opel Manta records a time of 6:36.4 here on special stage 52, and reporting at the stage finish that he almost got lost on the first lap of the stage. Jason Murphy sets a time of 7:08.11, and he states at the stage end interview that he got lost a bit and then did a few donuts as a result, looking for the right direction where to go. Our camera crew headed next up to special stage 53 Sarajevo, 8.2 kilometer gravel blast, and there's a massive jump on this stage, so let's see how the crews tackled that jump. Full sent Jonas, fastest on the stage. Joona Karimaa, 5th fastest overall, quite a nice jump from him as well. Riku Martikainen, 7th fastest overall on this stage. Patrick Åkerfeldt going 8th fastest here on Sarajevo. Tomas Burjanek 10th fastest, saying that he took it calmly. Henri Rampanen 11th fastest with the quite rough looking Manta. Viljo Elo 12th fastest. Aleksi Paakinen with the proper send, 14th fastest on the stage. Roni Lötjönen with another mighty fine jump. Richardson with quite a calm jump, probably fearing that his car would break. Edvin Haugerud also taking the calm approach, probably to prevent earthquakes from happening upon landing. Jason Murphy taking the very cautious approach here on the jump. Tom Smalley, another quite safe approach to the jump. After the jumps at Sarajevo, our camera crew headed to special stage 59 Cueva Blanco, which was 6 kilometers long. Another fastest time for full sent Jonas, the time of 3:34.9. Patrick Åkerfeldt recording another fastest two-wheel drive time with a time of 3:43.5. He says he had a good rhythm, but the tires were getting quite warm. Thomas Burjanek taking it safe, according to his own words, with a time of 3:44.8. And he can afford to take it safe now, as Joona Karimaa retired a few stages earlier with a crash, so he has now some breathing room. Following Karimaa's retirement, Viljo Elo moves up to 5th in class, and here he says he had a safe run and the stage was very fun. Riku Martikainen with a time of 3:53.0, and only roughly 20-second gap between Martikainen and the Finnish driver going under the alias Kareten Toukka ahead of him. Maybe we have a battle on our hands. Roni Lötjönen with a time of 3:55.5. Edvin Haugerud with a time of 3:56.3. Edvin has a 5-minute gap to the car ahead and a 1.5 minute gap to the car behind. Aleksi Paakinen with a time of 3:58.8, and he's quite safe as well, with only 10 stages to go after this one and almost a minute long gap to back and fourth. Jonathan Richardson with a time of 4:01.7, 15 seconds behind Gabriel Simpson ahead and 30 seconds roughly ahead of Henry Rampanen. After Cueva Blanco, our camera crew headed to special stage 66 Cantera de Villagran, 10.3 kilometer gravel stage with very rough bumps on it. So let's see how the crews managed to survive this bumpy hell. Jonas Lönn continuing with his blitzing pace with the time of 6:21 sharp here, 7 seconds faster than anyone else. But sadly Jonas Lönn has to retire on the penultimate stage when steering problems make him crash. Patrick Åkerfeldt continues his solid run as well, putting in a time of 6:36.9, reporting taking it safe and steady on this bumpy stage. Tomas Burjanek goes second fastest in class with a time of 6:37.1. Riku Martikainen with a time of 6:37.3 here on stage 66 and locked in a battle with Kädetön Tokka with only 13 seconds separating the two with 3 more stages to go. $6:42.4 for Haugerud here, but this is sadly the last that we will see him on this summary because he retired on special stage 68 just like Lönn. Jonathan Richardson recorded a time of 7:03.8 and is locked in a very interesting battle with Wojtek Uller and Gabriel Simpson, all of the 3 being within 6 seconds of each other with 3 more stages to go. Volkswagen driver Aleksi Parkkinen reporting a time of 7:08.9. At the stage end interview stating that it was an okay run, just 3 more stages to go, so he wants to obviously finish. And now it's time for the last stage of the rally, special stage 69 Pico de Orizaba, 14 kilometer long climb up the hill. Tomas Burjanek from Czech Republic finishes his rally with a solid run with a time of 9:45.3. He was the 3rd fastest overall here on the final stage, and in the overall standings he was 4th fastest overall and 1st in class at the end of the rally because of other people were getting disqualified. And finishing the rally made Burjanek so ecstatic that he decided to celebrate by running over our cameraman. Interesting choice. We will be sending the bill in the mail. Riku Martikainen showing the pace that he is very well known of on the final stage with a time of 10:28.4, being the fastest 2-wheel drive on the final stage, 6th fastest overall. And 6th fastest overall is also the position where Martikainen finishes in the rally after the disqualifications of a few drivers, and he finishes 1st in class 2A, a very well expected victory in class for Riku Martikainen. Aleksi Parkkinen finishes his rally with a time of 10:50.4, which is 2nd fastest in the class on the stage and 8th fastest on the stage overall. Parkkinen finishes 8th overall in the rally and 4th in class 2B, following the disqualifications of those drivers who didn't comply to the replay check. And here we see Parkkinen mixing up a rolling start and a flying finish. Next up is Ronni Lötjönen, who finishes his rally with a time of 10:53.1 on the final stage, being fourth fastest in class on the stage and then fastest overall on the stage. Lötjönen states at the finish that he was slightly sad that he wasn't able to be the fastest rear-wheel drive with Marttikainen's incredible rise on the last leg. Ronni finishing 7th overall in the rally regardless and 3rd in Class 2B, being the fastest rear-wheel drive in Class 2B. Next up we have the red Lancia of Viljo Elo. Viljo recording a time of 10:57.5 on the final stage with a run that he described driving like a grandma. Viljo's stage time was 3rd fastest in his class and 12th fastest overall. And Viljo finishing 16th overall in the grand scheme of things and 2nd in class 4B following the disqualifications after the rally. Congratulations Viljo for your 2nd place. Tom Smalley, driving a Volkswagen Golf, managed a time of 11 minutes on the final stage, which was 5th fastest in class and 13th fastest overall. Smalley finishes the rally 18th overall and 8th in class 2B, saying at the finish that maybe if he started driving more cautiously from the beginning, he wouldn't have crashed so much and fallen so much behind. Wise words, Tom. Wise words. Henry Rampalen manages an 11:05 sharp on the final stage, making him 3rd fastest in class on the final stage and 14th fastest overall on the final stage. Rampalen finishes 14th overall in the rally and 3rd in class 2A. And Rampalen is sporting quite a rough looking Manta here as well, but nevertheless he finishes the rally. And in podium place in class 2, that's impressive. Patrick Åkerfeldt having a surprisingly poor time on this one, but then he states at the stage end interview that he went off twice on this stage and had to call for help, so that explains it a bit. 7th fastest in class and 16th overall on the stage, but that doesn't matter. He had such a large gap that he won his class superbly, dominantly, and was 3rd overall in the rally with the VW Golf. And here he is flexing a bit on the way to time control, but at least he didn't run over our camera crew. Jason Murphy from United States managed to finish the rally and succeeded in his only goal for it as well. On the final stage he produced a time of 11:31.8, being 8th fastest in class on the stage and 18th overall on the stage. 18th overall was also his finishing position in the rally, and he was 10th in class, just less than 2 seconds behind Teemu Toikka in class 2B. That's not much of a gap for over 500 competitive kilometers. Last but not least on this stage was Jonathan Richardson, and by last I mean last. He was slowest on this stage with a time of 12:10.7, but he said at the end that he went off and had to resort to hitting a 3 in order to not fall down very much. But Jonathan Richardson here wins class 2C and is 12th overall in the rally. And Jonathan's performance in class 2C was quite dominant, winning the class with relative ease. There we have it, 69 stages done. Okay, we didn't show all 69, otherwise this would have been a week-long summary. But I hope you guys enjoyed. But now let's take a look at the final results after all penalties, etc. have been applied. Oscar Esteves wins the rally. He's 10 minutes and 15 seconds faster than Sami Peltola, who is in second with Peugeot 205 T16. Third place, Patrick Åkerfeldt with Volkswagen Golf 2. And then it is Thomas Burjanek with a Mazda, Kareton Toukka with another Golf, Riku Martikainen in sixth with Ascona, winning the 2A class, and Burjanek winning 4B, and Åkerfeldt winning 2B. Then it's Lötjinen, Parkkinen, Joppa, and Uhler make up the top 10. And then it is Simpson in 11th, Richardson in 12th, winning the 2C class. Then it is Liimatainen, Rampanen, Smalley, Elo, Tesnaukki, aka Tem Toikka, the very, very well liked Finnish sim racer. And look at the time difference between Tesnaukki and Jason Murphy. 1.4 seconds after their 500 kilometers or so. Then it is Dvorak Karel, and last but not least is Riku Alanko with Wartburg 353. And also take a look at the gap between Kareton Toukka and Riku Martikainen. 0.8 seconds after 500 and something kilometers. That is just absolutely insane. Now, with the results being checked, there's not much left anymore. We want to thank you for joining us here now, and we hope that you will join us in November as well, when we head to some European tarmac in another special event. But now all there is left is the final small crash compilation. And if you're wondering why your clip didn't make it in, it was because there was a lot of footage and too much footage to go through properly without proper instructions. Just, well, there was something here and something there. It was too much for our production crew, this guy, to watch and go through and collect all the runkeys. But without further ado, I'm Janne Laahanen. This was very much fun for me. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again in November with another special event in European tarmac.